Hey folks, today we've got a new tool. You always want to see the business ends of the tools? Well, there it is. Right there. And we're gonna clear up Doug's pond here a little bit. My neighbor Dub, he's got a pond here that, well, this is a good example of what our pond looked like and what a lot of ponds around here look like. Anyway, we're gonna clean it up. Let's get started. This is the 27-inch high inertia mulcher from Mongo Attachments. Mongo Attachments is located very near us. We don't have a lot of attachment manufacturers located right here in central Indiana, but Mongo is, well, it's within an hour. Look at that. The only thing I've seen difficult so far is that it's a little hard for me to keep out of the dirt. It's quite aggressive. I'm operating blade down right now. I'm not sure if I have to or not, but when I get more comfortable, I'll begin to, be more brave, of course. I know that there's no way I could reach out there and get that stuff with any of the other equipment I've got, which was one of the frustrations with my own pond. I get it in the dirt, it looks more like I'm a tiller than I am a brush mulcher. There's a piece of concrete under there I don't want to hit. Hey there. You backed off.
Yeah. What do you expect? My goodness, that thing looks mean.
We've talked some earlier in this year about how the compact tractor industry is cooling off. The sales are going down a little bit, just not as much interest in compact tractors. So I intentionally asked the folks at Mongo, I said, well, how's it going? Are you seeing any slowdown? And they said not at all. Really, they're not seeing any slowdown at all. And so I tried to probe a little bit deeper and figure out, well, what's going on? And they said that sales of this size attachment right here, at least, and maybe even bigger ones, are going to folks that are using excavators like this one as a moonlighting job. So, we've seen that a lot in the compact tractor world, but with these excavators, these are people that are full-time in the construction industry, and they're operating their own excavators. They likely already have a CDL and they're certainly skilled already. So it's just a matter of getting the equipment, and they're buying these mulching heads. They're buying the mini excavators, or sometimes a little bit bigger excavator, and it's making a nice second income for them. Now, this particular device, they say, is rated up to 4 inches. This is not an official brush mulcher. I'm going to say bad things about it and call it a flail mower, but that's not what it is. They call it a high inertia mulcher. So I'll stop the thing for a minute. So that's what we got right there, and it's basically a flail head, but if you'll notice, those hammers are much more substantial than a typical flail mower. So they refer to this as a high inertia mulcher. So they also have a true brush mulcher. We may get to try that sometime, but for now we're going to put this high inertia mulcher through its paces, and we're going to try some stuff tougher than what we're seeing right here, assuming we can find some around this pond. This is good practice for my excavator operating skills, because I have to try not to touch the ground, but get real close to the ground. So that's requiring some skill. Well, that's requiring some, patience and concentration on my part. Now, I could have got some of this with a tractor and mower. In fact, I thought about bringing some sort of an offset mower over here just to get what I could, and that would kind of illustrate what was left. But I couldn't have got a lot of this. Now the hydraulic flow on this U48 Kubota mini excavator is right at the low end for a mulcher like this, even this high inertia mulcher. And so because of that, what you'll see is the mulching head will come to a stop or will slow down, I would say more rapidly, or it just won't hold its rotational speed as long as it might if we had a larger motor on it that could handle more flow. There's always trade-offs and limitations. Just to remind you guys, I bought this size excavator because it's the biggest I can haul. Anything larger would require a CDL for any commercial work that I would do. Okay, well, it's more than a flail mower. I've wanted to clean this up for years. Literally years. Never thought I could do it without moving that boat, though. Okay, here goes that tree.
I'm turning around so I don't get hit by flying debris.
Okay, it said it's rated at 4 inches, and well, these are every bit of 4 inches. So let's get started and see if we can get them. Get all the way wound up here and see what we can do. We may not be able to work our way to the bottom of this. Now, part of the challenge here is that I'm not trying to take down one 4-inch tree. I'm trying to grind 3 of them at once. I don't think I would have been able to mow these with my TS10. So that kind of gives you an indication of what we're dealing with here. Now, one of the bigger mowers, like the 4125 or 4155 of Rhino, you might be able to, but now I would have been able to mulch these with the 3-point hitch mulcher on the tractor, the brush mulcher that I have for it. I would have been able to mulch. Almost done. Believe it or not, they're not going to let me take this big mulberry down here. Of course, I can't do it with this mulcher, so I was going to have their help anyway, but I can't believe leaving that tree. Okay, finally worked our way back to the pond. I can't tell if there are rocks all the way down in there. I know this was once a waterfall. I just don't know how far the rocks went. But I think they pretty much end right there at that one row, except for right here. I see rocks right down here, so.
Don't hit the drone with any flying debris, okay?
think I may leave some more of that brush for now. Just try to do some of the lighter stuff here. I call it brush. I may leave some of those trees, I guess, for now and do some of the lighter stuff. This thing's amazing on that invasive honeysuckle. We've talked about that stuff in several episodes, and this thing is the ticket on that. Some of these honeysuckle don't get too big and they're not real tough, but they're usually hard to reach with any sort of a mower, so this thing is perfect for that. Now some of these more hardwood trees, you know, once they get over a couple inches, it's a bigger job to get rid of them. Well, those are fine there. Look at that. Now I talked earlier about going in the dirt, and I see that there are some, I guess I could call them shoes, that are adjustable here, and mine are raised all the way to the top. That's the way it came from the factory. So it's allowing me to dig in, and I may try to adjust those before the next time just to see what it's like. I can see why it would be nice to be able to dig in, but I also could see why having those shoes there to sort of, I don't know, as sort of gauge wheels of sorts to keep you from digging in, how that would be nice too. So we'll try that out in a later episode. It's just pretty easy for me to dig into the dirt. Wow, this thing is nice though for uneven terrain and hard to get to terrain. And I do notice that I have to watch my boom up at the top, getting into limbs that I don't really want to take off. And I have learned that if I'm on level ground, I can go with the blade up pretty nice. Very, very similar feel to the compactor, probably a little bit lighter than the compactor. But, you know, if I reach it way out there, then I really want to be blade down. I get on uneven terrain where I'm leaning, then that's a bigger challenge. There are 2 grease fittings on this machine, and it takes high temperature grease. Other than that, there's no maintenance. Now there's an entire possibility that you may tear off these hammers or knives or whatever they're called, but okay, I'm going to step up here. This is an example of some of that uneven terrain that I'm talking about. Now during late winter and early spring, this pond will be totally full. The rainy season will bring plenty of water to fill it, and then I think the water table also goes up high enough that it doesn't want to empty as rapidly as it does in the summertime. Unfortunately, about 3/4 of the year it will be like this. And that's the way our pond was. I just don't know. I'd love to reach that other honeysuckle out there, but I don't know if I can get there without scratching something up or tearing something up. You know me, I'm going to try it. The reason I'm leaving my boom out is because I don't want to bring it upward due to all the other limbs and stuff that I don't want to get. I just can't quite reach that honeysuckle. Maybe I can snag that one if I go up just a little bit more. No. Well, that's frustrating. can't see those rocks in there. Yeah, there was a big one under there. I had a feeling there might be another big one that I had not yet hit. Now there's a couple of trees right up here in front of me that I'm supposed to save. Neighbor Chris would like to transplant those trees, and of course they're pretty big just to transplant, so we have a plan. Now, as our typical plans go, I suspect that will involve some equipment rehab. So yeah, that'll be something we'll have going on maybe in the wintertime. Hopefully we can get a piece of equipment. We have spotted what we want, but we're going to see if we can transplant those trees, probably to his house. And so I think that'll be something fun for us. And that would be tractor based, not excavator based. This is going pretty fast out here. Ooh, I skinned up that tree. That's supposed to be a catalpa. That's what neighbor Chris or his wife Bev said. I can't tell yet. I don't see any beans. It's the only way I can tell a catalpa tree. So, but yeah, this is going fast. I'm getting better at it too. Now this right here is tree number 2, right in front of me, and it may be too big. That's pretty big, isn't it? We'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited about that project. I just don't know if we'll be able to get around to it and get, yeah, lots of logistics, but it would be something fun to try. Maybe we can try it next spring. Well, that may not be so good. I don't know if I've got any cable wrapped up around it or not. Well, now I've got cable in it. The good news is it will turn backwards by hand. The other good news is it turns relatively easily. You guys know how much I love my Nipex, but these Nipex don't have a wire cutter feature. Like a plain pair of pliers has a wire cutter right up there next to the edge. And I miss that. I don't know why they don't put that on there. So far, so good, guys. Woohoo! Could have been worse. Back at it. This was just neglected. It should have been mowed to the bush hog. Holes here that would make it hard to get over this with a lawnmower, but a tractor and a brush mower would be fine here. Christy, I bet this is the kind of thing you find pleasing to see cleaned up.
I do, except it's taking a long time.
I wonder how much of this you could have mowed with Vinny.
A lot.
Not all of it. It's pretty wet down there. But you could
Yeah,
have mowed a lot of it.
that's true. I'd have tried. I'd have probably gotten stuck.
Well, Chris, what do you think?
I think it's an impressive change from a overgrown pond that looked like nobody'd been here for the last 3 years to voila.
Yeah.
Pretty
And you guys
amazing.
sit by this pond once in a while.
We do. You'd find our initials scratched in it over on those pieces of slate.
in the tree over there.
Well, there, and you're going to find it on the water on the waterfall.
Chris Hart Bev right there.
Actually, there is. You've got to be that way.
Well, the teeth didn't like the concrete blocks or the big rocks, but they survived.
Those might be a challenge to change a little bit.
Well, take out one bolt,
Okay, they're like normal, just pull them
and
offset.
then the hammer comes right out.
So how much total time do you have in this endeavor?
Well, we got here, I would say, about 2.5 hours. We've got
Wow.
about 2.5 hours in this. And I don't know if this would be a value to the customer or not. I would think, do you think he got 2.5 hours worth of work out of that? Let's put it this way.
If I was doing it, if I was having to do it with anything other than something like this, yes.
Let's just put it straight up. Would you pay $1,000 to have done what I just did?
The amount of overgrowth and stuff and underneath those trees, that's a lot of time to try to do by hand. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really, what's your time worth? And what kind of tools would I have to rent to do it? And how much does an old guy like me want to do?
Yeah. Because I really think, people often ask about pricing, but $1,000 would be an accurate price for this rig on this job if I was going to be pricing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people would find that worthwhile or not. Now, I know if we'd have brought Vinny, we could have got some of this around the side, but we probably would have rutted it up a little bit because we'd end up, I know
Well,
I would have got in there further than I should have.
And there was a lot of, it gets soft. It
Yeah.
gets soft in a hurry when you start to get down in.
As
And
we
Vin-
found in our own
Yeah,
pond, right?
and Vinny might not want to take a bath this time of year.
Yeah, that might be the case. Well, we'll have this high inertia mulcher quite a long time, I think. So,
More chances.
we might tear something up at your house. Who knows?
Well, thank you. I'll let Bev know that you're going to destroy something for her.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. The axe is already at the root of the trees, and every tree that does not produce good fruit will be cut down and thrown into the fire.